Gensel on the right. He's got Shane Gensel.
Hundley holds, steps up. Hundley sacks T.J. Watt. NFL history. Watt has tied Michael Strahan's single-season record.
Oh, no.
In the air to right. This is deep. And he did it again. Jack Sawinski wins it for the Pirates. 3 home runs in a game.
Wow. Hello to all of our Pittsburgh Sportsline fans. We're live in the BPTV studio right in the municipal building, 5100 West Library Avenue. Libraries above us, police stations to the right, mayor's office and the admin buildings are up there, and Smokin' Jim has still not visited the library. And he's a writer. Go figure that out.
That's that right.
So thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park, and all the way from Nemacolin, Cranberry, Wexford, and all points in between, city of Pittsburgh and the greater Pittsburgh area. We appreciate it. On Facebook, we're holding steady around 6,900 and what was it?
97, 94?
No, it was 94.
Yeah.
It didn't move. So I don't know what happened. We're trying to get 7K.
So close.
But today's a special day for me and my crew. October 11, 2011. We started our first Pittsburgh Sportsline talk show edition. And now we got a new camera guy named Buck, otherwise known as pitcher on the Bethel Park High School champion team, Nick Gasper. Look at that picture.
Yeah.
Look at that. Guess what? I got to get a knife on.
Nice black and gold.
I got to cut. We'll do a little slice. We'll get some pieces out here. Smokin' Jim likes white.
Yes, I do.
He said you ain't right unless you're white. Thanks, Chip. Thanks, Buck, on the thing. Little drama here with the cutting. We got Chip Hayner can have the Bethel Park color. He likes chocolate, so we got chocolate chips. Thanks to Diane at the Market District Bakery. I gave her a list, happy 11-year anniversary, Pittsburgh Sportsline. She got it all in, and I cut out the part that was a little tight. And we'll cut these rest of these pieces. And I got to save one for my son, Drew, and we got to save one for Nick a little later.
That's good.
Oh, man. I got to hold off eating. Guess what? We got to do promos. All right, we'll do the first promo. I got to take a bite. I think I can do it. All right, let's see what Buck can do. All right, here we go. Buck gave me the head shake. Look at it. Look at his first attempt on Pittsburgh Sportsline. He's going for the Rookie of the Year starting in October of this year. So
Tough race.
unbelievable. Look at that. Olive Oil's Pizzeria. They sponsor our show with an XL pepperoni pizza, a steak hoagie cut in 6 slices so we don't fight over it. And then Smokin' Jim gets to take home 1 slice of each for his unusual unnamed friend in New Ken. Just had to share that. What's her name, Smokin' Jim?
Sweetie.
They're all sweeties to Smokin' Jim. I just had somebody call up the other day, a friend of mine, and he said, does Smokin' Jim know all of these beautiful women? I go, yeah. And if not, he steals their profile pictures from Facebook. But other than that, great Italian food, great pastas, great desserts, great salads, you name it, they got it there. Frank Finera sponsors us. He said to say hi to all of us and appreciates us. So back at you, Frank. Call 412-831-1900. Tell them the taco machine said this pizza's good. All right. We'll see on Buck on this one. Oh, they're showing me eat on this. What the heck? This is
And you're eating the green. You got the green.
Well, you got to see Levine.
now look at that pick. Buck, 2 for 2. He's batting 1,000 right on the camera. We end each show with Stay Joey Strong. We honor Joey Fabus, who died at 8 years old due to the dreaded brain cancer, DIPG. There's a picture with him before DIPG, the brain cancer that killed him right before his 9th birthday 8 years ago. His family started the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. Their biggest fundraiser was just in September, and that was the Joey Fabus Fight Against DIPG Superheroes 5K walk, 1 mile run, and they dress up as superheroes and raise the money that they're donating to Children's Hospital and Dr. Gary to find a cure. And they've raised over $100,000 to do it. So you can donate as little as $1 or whatever you can afford. It's all going to a good cause. And that's what they do. They have other events, so check it out. And we'll move on to the next one. Take another bite. The boy in the picture is Bennett. He was a handicapped child, had many problems, had 2 kidney transplants. As Dean gave him the 2nd kidney transplant. He died at 16 and a half. His mother, Kristen, and Dean decided to start a 501c3. They named it B, Always Be Smiling for Bennett. He was the happiest child they said you could ever meet. Never had a bad day, was always smiling, yet he had physical problems the whole time. They help children that need kidney transplants like me. My son gave me a great kidney. 3-year anniversary, I'm doing very well. Doctor said see you in 6 months. So they help others get kidneys from living donors like I do. And it's a greater success rate and greater longevity. So please donate some money to them. They're a 501c3. They do events on Montour Trail and other places, so you can get a hold of them. 411 friends of mine liked their page and got them over 1,000 last year, and they're still liking the page there. They thank every one of you, and so do I. And if you haven't liked Always Be Smiling, check it out. All right, let's see what Buck can do on this one. Wow, he's on fire. Bethel Park Historical Society's Schoolhouse Arts and History Center. 2600 South Park Road. Red and white trolleys right there. You can't miss it. Historic flag is there. 1905 schoolhouse is there. It's been remodeled from top to bottom, from the basement where they had a coal furnace all the way up to the roof, and a brand new cupola with the traditional Bethel Park bell. It's legendary. They even had to buy another one because the original went back. And at high school, they love to take graduation pictures and other things with that bell. So it's there again. And they put it there and had a donation. You can donate money to the Bethel Park Historical Society. They're always working on it. They raised over $1 million to refurbish it. And Bill Haberther started the second campaign for the second $1 million fundraiser to make even more improvements to it. They have a Bethel Park Community Foundation Auditorium. I'm a trustee on the board. Great place there. They have an artist there. They have a dance studio. They have Reginald's Coffee, my favorite tea place there, owned by Matt and Julie. They have roasted coffee from around the world, and the roaster's right inside their coffee shop. Hundreds of friends have told me, get rid of Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, and even your own coffee at home. Their coffee's the best. And nobody's told me one bad thing about their coffee. So you can try to prove me wrong and tell me it's bad, but go taste it first. So go to Reginald's Coffee. All right, we'll see what Buck does on this. Dave Cable likes to make fun of me at my expense. We'll see what Buck comes up with. Think he's ready? I'll just keep talking. We want you for BPTV. Tell them Uncle Al Levine, the Taco Machine, wants you. You can give a call, 412-831-3304. Tell Dave Cable we need volunteers. Buck volunteered to be on the cameras tonight, especially on Pittsburgh Sportsline. So he gets a shout out. Thank you very much. And he volunteered. This is his first night here. How do you think he's doing? Look at that. You can see my smiling face. It's even in focus. Smoking Jim learned last year about Uncle Sam. Believe it or not, Buck, he never heard of Uncle Sam before. And he goes to Gateway, and not that they're suspect with their education, but when they pay parents to live in the housing project so their kids can go to school, I better shut up. But check out BPTV. You can be here like Buck, like Nick, and we got Steve, who only comes in to work on special missions. He's the MVP of BPTV. And he volunteers, and he said, Al, you got to get some more volunteers. You know I'm working a full-time job now. I said, I remember you from 5 years ago when you're 18 started here. So we need you out here. If you're in high school, come on out. If you're interested in video, audio, and you want to put stuff up TV, you want to put stuff on social media, you can learn all of that. And you can help us do our Tuesday night shows, and we do on-location shows on things like that. So check it out. Let's go to the next one. I only give Buck a little warning. Look at him. He's waited there. He's waiting for a 3-2 pitch.
You ain't on the block.
How was that white icing on your cake?
He's saving it
No
for
disclaimers tonight.
last. He's saving it for last.
Look at this. Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you, grant money. $100 to $5,000 for your group or organization doing great things in Bethel. And if you want to improve what you're doing and help our community, we have money for you. I'm a trustee on the board. Get an application. You all know about the 3 W's, then bpcf.org. You can get your application, bring it in. If Smoking Jim could show you on his Mac Pro he got 6 months ago, believe it or not, he was desperate for a Mac Pro. Then he got 2 Apple phones, and none of those are working yet.
Oh, no, they work. They've just been operated.
No, the operator isn't working on it
Right.
because it's useless. Here.
You could sell all of those at full price at this point. If you needed to flip them.
Guess
the
what?
box.
I'm ready
Still
to
in the
trade
box.
my Android ins acting up. I might go with 14.
Ask Smoking if he's got any.
You got an Apple you could just give me? Because I'll pay. No, I won't pay what you did. No, but check out the Bethel Park Community Foundation. And they're doing a lot of great things. They've raised over $1 million in 26 years, and they're helping the community. And the Bethel Bounty's coming up November 6th. Get your $50 ticket. There's like 22 food vendors. Smoking Jim, you know I like to eat. I've had food from every one of them
Wow.
in one sitting.
Wow.
You can too. Get your tickets out there. It's the biggest fundraiser we do for Bethel Park Community Foundation. It's a lot of fun. They have prizes. They have all these raffles. I go and hustle up the 50-50 because we try to get people almost $1,000 in their pockets.
Give me an arm length.
I will. I have a 2-arm length thing from finger to finger, buddy. We bettered your comment. You haven't been to ours. I don't know what neighborhood you're in. All right, enough of that. We got to do what's on your mind. And before we go, I got to just show Can I put this up to the camera? Somehow I got the green, and everybody knows I don't like to eat in front of the camera.
Yum.
Delicious. The green is good. Smoking Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
There it is.
You got to see Levine.
I thought it was going to be like Deontay Johnson. You should have dropped it.
Yeah. And I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine, when I came in, I thought the rookie of the year, Steve Fisher, got fired because he's always in a suit. He come in shorts. I said, man, I need somebody to help me with my taxes. You done lost your job. But he said he worked from home. So I don't want to hear that again next week.
Smoking Jim. I got to do a disclaimer with lack of knowledge. It's the first time I've had a disclaimer with lack of knowledge. Smoking Jim allegedly worked for IBM for 18 years. There's no proof of it.
I was the man.
Show me a pay stub. Show me a pay stub.
Well, I told him I'd help him get Social Security, but he hasn't shown up, so I'm starting to question that. But Smoking Jim, I don't know if you know, some companies, instead of having these big office buildings downtown, they're telling their employees to work home 2 or 3 days a week.
Wow.
What would you do in that? Never mind. So people are doing remote work, and what Steve told you is remote work.
He's been working from home ever since I've known him.
But here's a Pittsburgh sports line first. Al Levine, the talking
Okay,
machine.
lay it on me.
First Buck I ever met that wasn't black. Buck Buchanan, my best friend is named Buck from Steubenville. There was a movie Buck and the Preacher, all black folks. And the question is, Al Levine, the talking machine, can Buck strike out Nick? I've been wanting to put some heat on you, Nick.
Yeah.
Buck get you first, I get you second, brother. I got 3 pitches.
Time out there. I've given you that opportunity for 2 years now.
I still got
and
3
you
pitches
haven't
in
taken.
me.
Can I claim he's not an honest man?
You know I've asked him.
2 years.
I said you could. It's been almost 2 years.
But hey, what's on my mind?
Oh, one more thing. There's
Yes, sir.
there's a guy named Buck Farmer in Major League Baseball. He's white, so.
I don't know him.
He don't know baseball either.
He light skinned. But here, Al Levine, the talking machine. This is what's on my mind. The disrespect to Gateway High School. This is the best Gateway team ever seen in my life. Even better when Terry Smith and them played, and they was rated higher than Emmett Smith in USA Today as number 3 in the country. They had to go to Hempfield, number 1 team in the country. They beat them, in the state beat them 64-0. They come back the next week, Penn Trafford, the number 1 team in the state. They beat them to death. Now the new number 1 team in the state is 7-0 McKeesport Tigers. Gateway goes to McKeesport. The only 2 teams our coach Pete Annamarino hated and would run up the score on. They'd ask him, why you going for 2? He said, because I can't go for 3. Was North Allegheny and McKeesport. And
That's where my mother's family's from, McKeesport. This is so disrespectful.
Well, that's the only place too you go, and the K9 dogs is roaming through the stands.
Hold it. I
ain't been there in a while.
No, I have memories from the 60s. They had nice brick roads and tall trees and many nice stores when I was a kid. My sisters were.
Jeffrey Dahmer said dark meat tastes better.
Why'd you go to a movie?
But hey, that's what's on my mind. Gateway will beat McKeesport and knock off the 3rd number 1 team in the state, Al Levine, the talking machine. And that's what's on my mind.
Another disclaimer, don't bet on anything Smoking Jim says. And I don't know if you can bet high school sports at the Rivers Casino. He lives there, so you got to be careful.
I got him.
Hey, first shout out from Ralph. Hello, guys from Wheeling. Amy said, hello, guys. Welcome back, Chip. Cookie cake looks good. Tony from Chick-fil-A, and they're remodeling the heck out of it. They're tearing up the lot, the building. He goes, Chip, MLB playoff prediction. We'll get to that. Jim Houck is watching. Shout out to Jim, great designer in Pittsburgh, among many other things, and I did a great interview with him. You got to check that out. Next up, Jim Ellenbogen's watching. No comments yet. Don't ask him about the Steelers. He posted a few things about it. Unbelievable. Hey, Smoking Jim, our friend Tyonda Duval. Hello, guys.
Oh, that's my girl, Lady G.
Yeah, and
Baltimore.
then Chuck McElroy's watching. Chief, longtime friend of mine from the Post-Gazette and Press. Definitely. All right, Chip, after all that, what's on your mind?
Well, what's on my mind? So we're looking for predictions for Major League Baseball playoffs.
Yeah.
I'll give you whom I believe will ultimately end up winning it all. And I believe that
That's
the
what Tony from Chick-fil-A asked.
Atlanta Braves are going to go back-to-back this year.
Wow, we got back-to-back bucks, so it's
Actually,
in the neighborhood.
From somebody I know that follows the Atlanta Braves, lives in Atlanta, somebody I've known 40, 45 years, actually said that this year's Braves teams is better than last year's.
Wow.
But, we'll see what happens. They play the games. They're down 1-0. They lost to the Phillies today. And the Astros just walked off the Mariners 8-7, bottom of the ninth with a 3-run homer.
Thanks for the updates.
So we're up to date on the 2 games played so far today. We've got the Yankees and the Guardians playing here shortly.
I can't wait for that.
And the Dodgers and the Padres will be lighting it up here at 9:30. So what's on my mind? Major League Baseball, of course. And I will finally say that Rob Manfred and the powers to be with Major League Baseball finally got something right.
Whoa.
I was absolutely ecstatic over the wild card weekend. I think, and I've said this before when I was first on the show 11 years ago,
Yeah.
that the wild card should be a 3-game series at the end of the year. And they did that this weekend, and the wild card teams that have moved on are truly deserving. You got to win 2 out of 3 to keep playing. The Cleveland Guardians, the youngest team in Major League Baseball to make the playoffs. They handled their business. They're going up against the mighty Yankees and Garrett Cole tonight. Let's see if they can they can keep that going. Kind of pulling for the Guardians. I mean, I'm rooting for the underdogs.
I gotcha.
I am not a front runner favorite. I know Nick is a big Yankees fan, and God bless him. But they play the games for a reason.
Yes.
But I mean, all 4 wild card series were great, and actually pitching played a big role in it. I think the best game of the weekend was played Saturday by the Guardians. 15-inning, 1-0 game.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was something else. I mean, from halfway through the game, you're sitting on the edge of your seat. Every pitch, every play could have determined the outcome of that game.
Oh, yeah.
Once you get into a real extra inning game, okay, with no runners starting at second base. The way the game was supposed to be played.
Yo, he's getting old school on us again, folks.
It was quite enjoyable, and the Guardians walked it off the bottom of the 15th with a 1-run homer, and all you got to do is score one more than your opponent. But
No, thanks for those updates, Chip. Smoking Jim, who says he's a quasi-baseball fan, he'll have to look that up. But he didn't notice any of those games. I watched some of them. The extra inning game, I watched about 5 or 6 innings of that.
Here's what I'm waiting to see tonight. And Nick, no offense, don't take it personally. I'm looking forward to seeing Garrett Cole get booed off the mound in the Bronx, just the same way Max Scherzer got booed off the mound in New York on Friday night.
Whoa.
Yes, sir.
What did you mean when you said that the Guardians are the youngest team in baseball?
The youngest team to make the playoffs in baseball. They are the youngest.
Average year.
Average age of a player.
Oh, really?
Not. I mean, the Guardians, formerly known as the Cleveland Indians,
I thought that's
have
what you
been
meant.
around for decades and decades.
Oh, okay.
But they've
age.
got the youngest
I thought it was
average age on their
special
roster.
Hey, Chip, hold on a second. We don't know his age, so when you talk about youngest age, he can't understand that.
But another reason to root for the Cleveland Guardians, New Brighton's own Terry Francona,
Yeah.
who should end up in the Hall of
Yeah,
Fame,
he will.
is managing the Cleveland Guardians, and I'd like to see his team go far.
Only good thing ever come out of New Brighton.
His father, Tito,
He didn't know about him.
yeah.
Shout out to my friend 6'8". I seem to forget his name. So, but 6'8"'s watching.
Mike Shook.
Is that his name?
That's my boy.
Thanks for watching. All right. Nick Callis, we're ready for you.
All right. All right.
Yeah. What's on your mind?
Well,
You've been picked on already so far, so
yeah. So
we'll see how you're holding up.
So I hope the Yankees do well, and that's that. Spoken Jim and I are on that
Yes, sir.
on that plane. Let's address the Steelers. I'm sad. I didn't want to talk about them last week because I figured I'd just ignore the problem and it would go away like any other Pittsburgh fan, and that didn't work. And they still played
Are
poorly.
you surprised?
I'm not really that surprised, and I think that I'm ready to acknowledge the heartbreak because I worked the game on Sunday at the Fan. We were covering it, and I had to watch the whole game. I didn't get to choose to turn it off. So my heart broke, and I kind of faced reality. You know what? I'm not going to say Kenny Pickett was a poor draft choice. I do think that even though some of us claim that he was the best quarterback picked in the worst quarterback draft class,
I did.
That doesn't mean he doesn't have the potential to do well. I still have confidence in the young man. And I call him a young man, he's older than me, but you get my point. He'll be all right. I do think that relying on T.J. Watt to summon the life of the defense is a problem. I think Najee Harris is struggling and Jalen Warren is hitting holes better and being a little more
Can I
impressive.
interrupt you on Najee?
No, not yet. Hold on, not yet.
He's hurt.
Oh, yeah, I know he's hurt.
Okay,
But yeah, put
thanks.
Jalen Warren in there
No,
then.
thank you. They are. They
Um,
moved him up to third down.
Deontay Johnson can catch amazing passes and drop routine ones. George Pickens likes to talk a lot, but he also makes insane catches. Why didn't Mike Tomlin challenge that one catch Pickens had where he had his foot down and his hand down? It's like, did you give up? Did you? Come on now. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, I don't like it. I don't like what's going on right now. I did like Tomlin was being a little sassy in his press conference. I appreciated that. He asked somebody what kind of question that was. I appreciate questions like that. Don't ask dumb questions that you know the answer to. So I appreciate Tomlin from there, but that's really the only thing I appreciate from Tomlin because he's starting to feel a bit old. But me as the VIP, as Nick, no more hanging banners for now. We're just gonna, we're just
You
gonna.
can't. They
we're
didn't
gonna,
win.
I'm gonna reel it back. I'm gonna reel it back into heartbreak mode, and I'm gonna be sad. And there are too many. Everybody wants to blame one problem. There's a whole lot of problems. So like you can pick the one that you want to pick, but from my perspective, it's a whole lot of problems. Too much T.J. Watt reliance on the defense. Matt Canada can't coach an offense. Mike Tomlin is stale, and the wide receivers talk too much. That's what's on my mind.
Great job,
It's a
Nick.
shame that the players hold no responsibility for the performance either.
You know what? And they talking about that the other week too. Who was it? Somebody, I forget the wide receiver that called out the media for. I think it was Johnson.
Yeah, Deontay
He was
Johnson.
like, "You guys are pulling us apart." Like, are we though? Like, do you guys not trust yourselves that much? That
He said, if you think you can do better, go on out there and do it. What kind of response is that?
so tough times ahead.
Well, one of the things that this young Steelers team needs, besides to get their heads out of their butts, is somebody to teach them how to deal with the media, because it's like throwing the lambs to the slaughter. I mean, these reporters, if they were in New York, they would be chopped up into little pieces. Pittsburgh media is tame compared to a lot of cities, and these guys have no clue. They would be better served just to keep their mouths closed.
The media here is locally PR for each team.
Yep.
In my opinion, my humble opinion.
Well,
But I'm
Or-
just like, if you guys know what you're doing, you don't have to worry about what the media is saying.
Yeah.
I truthfully believe that they're having trust issues with each other because the coordinators aren't getting along with the head coach is not getting along with the players, and it's a great love triangle that's
Well,
being closer to the Bermuda Triangle than anything else.
Nick,
a lot of nothing going
I'll
on.
add to your list, and I'll give you some of the problems that it might be a little delayed. First, 6'8" said thanks for the shout out. You're welcome, 6'8". Patrick Higgs is watching our show, so thank you for that. We appreciate you. Amy's announcing that she has her 19-year anniversary at Giant Eagle on Thursday.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
So,
19
way to go.
years.
One of our biggest fans here. Jim Ellenbogen has to speak out. We know he could only stay quiet for so long. As far as Steelers receivers saying, can we do better? My grandmother can drop a pass for much cheaper wages. Thank you, Jim. We appreciate your humor. Next up, Marilyn Mance is watching. Marilyn, beep, beep.
Yeah, Hall of
We
Famer.
appreciate you.
To speak to some of the things that are wrong with the Steelers team, There's only a couple of players on the team that actually have a true passion for the game of football.
Yeah.
That's T.J. Watt and Cameron Hayward. These are the guys that show up. If these guys
Mika Fitzpatrick, too.
Mika Fitzpatrick, I'll give you that. These guys are not putting the work in Monday through Saturday, and it's showing up when they play on Sunday.
I agree.
You know, they're not paying attention to the details.
Right.
And the death is in the details, because in every play that goes on, from what little I've seen of the Steelers play this year, seriously, I've been working. You know, I mean, I have to work. So I mean, you know, the games don't. You know, my work schedule is my work schedule. But you know, you need 11 people moving in the same direction for an offense to be effective, and you need 11 people in defense. Everybody doing just their job, and you get 1 or 2, possibly 3 people that are off the reservation, and everything else breaks down. And then that's where they're not doing the work Monday through Saturday.
Good point.
You stole some of my thunder, but I respect that. And you can see it's obvious. I always go to the leadership of an organization. And from last year, I've been talking about, what's his name, Art Rooney?
Yeah.
Not the legend, but the grandson. His leadership has caused us to the standard is the standard, which are disrespectful, arrogant coaches talk to the media about for years. The rubber hits the road. But when they ask him questions that who's accountable and what are they going to do and what are they looking at, he's not a nice person to interview because he doesn't provide great answers to media that's sucking up to him. And you see that all the time. And I've always said he could be the smartest guy in the world, but when you take over defensive coaching for Keith Butler, who Smoking Jim said should have never been the defensive coordinator, especially after LeBeau, they don't go outside the organization. And then they practice with guys from Pitt. That's why I was negative about Kenny Pickett. And I'll say I'm not negative about Kenny Pickett because he showed some fire, little things out there, but he had basically a practice game. They scored so many points and made us look so foolish, and our defense couldn't stop anything, that he was allowed to throw and complete 34 passes for over 300 yards. That was one of the most weakest ever 300-yard game that I saw.
They didn't score a touchdown.
We scored 3 points. Now, who's telling me they're going to get better next week?
So here's my question. He had 3 interceptions his first game. He put up 3 points his second game. What's he going to do? Fumble 3 times this game?
Well, my thing, I already didn't have high hopes for Kenny Pickett, but his knowledge and his nice throws that he's making during the practice situation, during game situations, I give him some credit there. I underestimated him, and he's doing well. When I said, oh, Canada, I didn't respect him to begin with. I didn't think he had a good resume on there. I think he only worked at Pitt. And Tomlin likes to be buddies with everybody, so he put a buddy in as an offensive coordinator who he can manipulate.
Well, he also coached his son.
Yeah, no, I heard that, yes. So hence the buddy system that we have here. So it's no surprise that the standard that we don't have is sinking quickly. You could be 1-7 after the next 3 games, and then where do you go next? That's how bad it does look, and I'm an optimist. But the offensive line has only improved a little bit. They still have problems with the run. Najee's not 100%. You can tell that from your eye test. When you watched him play last year, he could hit a hole instantly and be gone. Now he gets hit, he goes to the left or right, and he falls down. So where are you going with that? Warren's doing great. He's going to be in third down situations. How disrespectful is that to Najee when he was an all-down back? So they're acknowledging, even though they won't say they're rebuilding, they're in the process of rebuilding, because when you do a whole new offensive line, when you have Alu come back, and then you demote him, you look at all the little things that are happening. They have the highest payroll on defense because it was 3 great players. and the other 8 players are suspect. To me, it's an organizational fail, totally from top to bottom. If you want to blame anybody, start at the Rooneys, start at Tomlin. Why isn't Tomlin accountable for how the Steelers play? Now, Chip brings up a good point that the players aren't putting that effort in. But we know that. Who's responsible to fire up the players? And all of you that have watched the Steelers like I have for years, they always talk about a fast starting team, but we never do for the Steelers. How can it be a never fast start in the last 10 years with Steelers? These are just questions that I have. I appreciate Nick dealing with some reality and making up a list.
I'm sad.
But mine is, it's organizational from top to bottom. All right, we'll be back in 10 seconds with Fiction and Fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac.
Is he still counting? Look at, he got me blurry because I said he worked at home and lost his
That's
job.
because you're so dreamy.
Yeah, dreamy.
This is the Jim Frazier dream sequence.
But hey, Al Levine, the talking machine, you got to give credit to the African running back from Pitt. He broke Tony Dorsett's record, 320 yards, 6 touchdowns.
You can't even pronounce his name, so
No,
I
who
can't.
cares? Can
Israel
you even pronounce some of them
Ben.
African names? Come on, machine. But hey,
Disclaimer, these comments are Smokin' Jim's own, and we don't even acknowledge it. Sorry, folks.
hey, listen. Al Levine, the talking machine.
Yes.
Was the victories, was it Big Ben's team or Coach Tomlin's team? I think we can clearly say it was Big Ben's team. Hey, listen, be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. They ran Big Ben out of town. He had a few more good years in him.
Whoa. 1 second. 1 second. Big Ben looked like an old handicapped.
Went to the playoffs. They going to the playoffs this year, or
Wait.
they got the first pick overall?
He
in the
looked
draft?
like an old future Hall of Fame
Did they
crippled
make
quarterback.
the playoffs? Did they make the playoffs?
How did they run him out of town? How did they run him out?
How many years is a few? How many years is a few?
2 or more. But A.L. Levine,
That's
the
huge.
talking machine, and
Yes.
his wife wasn't going to divorce him. A.L. Levine, the talking machine, listen.
What?
I said before the season started that there's no way you make Mitch Trubisky captain. I was right. I said there's no way Najee Harris should be captain. I was right.
Hold it. Did I hear this last week? He's repeating what he said. We need a new one.
For Chip. Then I said, there's no way if you love your rookie quarterback, don't go back to Mitch Trubisky at Buffalo. He's not going. I said the only thing that can happen to Kenny Pickett is he can take a chance on getting injured. Guy went after his legs. He got hit. He even fought in the game. What did he learn over there in Buffalo? There's nothing he could learn. Mitch Trubisky played at Buffalo. He knows all the players. The first guy that hugged Josh Allen after the game was Mitch Trubisky. Now you bring Kenny Pickett back home to a home game. Everybody's enthusiastic about Kenny Pickett getting his first start. Now there's no hope. They're looking at maybe 1-8, 1-9, Al Levine, the talking machine at best. And that's what's on my mind. I'm just saying I could talk a lot longer, but I made several predictions before the season, and they all come true. I told you guys before the season that George Pickens could be the best receiver in all of football, but he can't run routes. He'll never be open. And you see, just throw him the ball, he'll get it, but he runs Sesame Street routes. You know, and
What's a Sesame
So
Street
you know
I've
what
never
route?
heard-
else, you know
oh,
what else he predicted that he was right on? is that the Eagles were going to be 5-0, the Giants were going to be 4-1.
I didn't make those predictions.
yeah, you did.
But that's your fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Well, I got to disclaim the whole thing because he's repetitive. I mean, he's never been this old before, so he's recycling stuff for Chip, he
I
said.
want to know what a Sesame Street route is.
It's not an NFL route. It's an amateur route.
Oh.
Yeah. He'll never be open because he refuses to run the route.
Yeah, but Sesame Street, they're all professionals.
But this guy can catch that ball, and he's a diva. Did you see him? They're down by 30 points, Chip, and he's on the sideline clapping like, "Give me more stats." That's all he cares about. He's a diva, but that's okay. He's a great receiver. Throw him the ball. And I'm sorry, one thing, Chip. Kenny Pickett got to learn when you get in the red zone, just throw it to George Pickens. Just throw it. Throw it to George Pickens if you want a touchdown. He'll get you one. 1 out of 3 shot down there. Go ahead.
Smoking Jim, I have one question. How'd you get so smart that you bought a Black Sox hat?
I tell you what, brothers love to coordinate. I coordinated. I got a champion black and white T-shirt under here, brother. We like the style when we profiling in the ghetto, in the hood, in Alavina, where you grew up on in the Hill District.
Wow.
That was a long time ago. Again, these are his own opinions and thoughts. He's getting down.
I got the black and white shoes, Alavina talking
You
machine.
mean barges.
Ooh, man.
He's the only guy I know with a size 11 shoe.
I'm going to get
That
Buck to autograph these shoes, Alavina talking machine in black marker.
Why? There, I got one.
No, he wants it in a white marker.
All right, we got to end that Smoking Jim thing. 6'8" says, I just want to say Big Ben was clearly old. Yes. However, I'd say Canada was the biggest issue last year and this year.
Good point.
If you noticed, every time Big Ben ran no huddle last year, we scored touchdowns. Of course, it was with 5 minutes to go. It was almost every single time. I had to clarify that. Thank you, 6'8". We appreciate that. And Chief says Mike Tomlin's like the Pope. Amy said thank you for the congrats. And then Jim Ellenbogen says James Bond Tomlin, at the point he will start butchering assistants and players, but he will survive as always. Thank you. All right, let's go to VIP, trivia time with Nick. I mean, with Chip. Hold on. I got distracted by Facebook Live. Trivia time in 10 seconds with Chip Hayner.
You know, I was watched the last few series of the Pirates season, and I was, sad to see another season end, no playoffs. But you know what? Next spring it all starts over again. But I was watching the Pirates play the Toronto Blue Jays, and they had to play the national anthem, and they also had to play the Canadian national anthem. And I think we should have a national anthem for the Steelers. You know, the Canadian national anthem's called "O Canada." Why don't the Steelers' national anthem be "No Canada"?
If I get a vote, I vote for that. Excellent, Chip.
Okay, so in the Pirates' last series, the last 2 series, they played 3 games in St. Louis. They played 3 games in Pittsburgh. They ended up splitting the series with them, 3-3. One of the things they did while they were in St. Louis, they have not done to St. Louis since 2012.
Whoa.
Was they finally beat Adam Wainwright before he retired. Wow. So
that's rare.
That was a very rare occurrence. And also I wanted to make note of 3 noticeable retirements happening at the end of the baseball season. None of them for the Pirates.
Right.
But 3, at least 2 of them are guaranteed bona fide Hall of Famers. I don't know if Adam Wainwright will ever get in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Adam Wainwright retired after 17 years in the Cardinals organization. Albert Pujols, after 20-some-odd years in the major leagues, spent most of his career, I believe 12 years of his career with the Cardinals, 703 home runs. I went over his stats the last time I was here.
They're strong.
Don't need to go into that. But the one who I believe is definitely worth making note of is catcher Yadier Molina.
Oh, yeah.
And I would absolutely say, without any question of a doubt, and I would like Nick's point of view on this, I believe he is the best catcher in Major League Baseball since the year 2000.
Wow.
Without any question. I would say he tormented the Pirates for years. I've watched him throw out runners at first base, third base, second base, had one of the best arms, could manage a pitching staff.
And he could hit, too.
And just to give you an idea of some of his accomplishments, he played for, he won 9 Gold Gloves and 6 Fielding Bible Awards, a 2 times World Series champion. He played for the Cardinals in 12 playoff appearances and 4 National League pennant winners. Molina also played for the Puerto Rican national team in 4 World Baseball Classic tournaments, winning 2 silver medals. And most importantly, he will be managing the Puerto Rican team in this spring's World Baseball Classic. Yachty, career batting average 277, 2,168 hits, 176 home runs, 1,022 RBIs. Just a quick rundown of the rest of his accomplishments: 10-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champ, 9 Gold Gloves, 4 Platinum Glove Award winners, Silver Slugger in 2013, another Roberto Clemente Award winner in 2018, 6 Fielding Bible Awards, and 2-time All-World Baseball Classic team. So, tip my hat to a quality player when you see one. I hope he enjoys his retirement. He had one hell of a career.
Not enough offense for the Hall of Fame.
Ozzie Smith made the Hall of Fame with poor batting.
Yeah.
He ain't Ozzy. He ain't
Smoking
the
Jim.
Wizard of Oz.
I got
He ain't the Wizard
I got
of
one
Oz.
He
question.
was as a catcher. As a catcher, 9 Gold Gloves is not chopped
What
liver.
qualifications do you have to make a statement like that other than you're negative? Smoking Jim's one of the nicest guys in the media, but he goes,
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying
I'm
I'm
just
negative.
saying, I don't have a true, accurate perspective on this. I'm just going to say words.
All right, we're going to go to Nick in a second, but Tony from Chick-fil-A said, Nick,
Yes.
Sean Payton in place of Mike Tomlin. Wow.
Anything to get Sean Payton off TV is horrible.
I know he is. He shouldn't be on TV.
Brutal.
All right, VIP time.
Let's talk about baseball some more. I'm not going to be talking about baseball that much longer because, the Pirates aren't here. And this
No,
is
you can
Pittsburgh
talk all
Sports Line.
year.
Sure. It gets old. I mean,
No.
Anyway, but I was at the game. I think I mentioned this last week. I was at the game where Pujols hit his 703rd. So that was
Yes,
cool.
he did.
was
You're
there
getting
as
like
well.
Smoking Jim.
Yeah, and I was on television when Sawinski hit his home run. I jumped with a feeble effort to try to get his home run ball, but I was many rows
I
too
remember
shy.
that.
So that was good. But yeah,
You
speaking
guys
of
are on the same page.
speaking of that, I'm sad that the Cardinals got eliminated from the playoffs by the Phillies, led by a Bryce Harper team. And I don't like Bryce Harper, so I'm just putting that out there. But the wild card series in baseball is cool and exciting, something that has been cried for by many baseball fans for a while, and now it's here. So I might as well just beg the question, should we as Pirate fans be upset? Yeah, I think we should. I really don't think that the Giants would have beaten the Pirates in 2014 in a 3-game series because they only had Bumgarner. 2015's a toss-up because I think the Cubs were able to trifle the Cardinals in 5 games in a division series, so maybe. I'm upset, though, by it because, and you watch how exciting the series are from, like, a national standpoint, but how much more exciting it could be for, like, fans of the game. The 1-game playoff might have driven ratings up at first, but then people started to realize, like, wow, this is punishing certain teams. I mean, think about how close the Dodgers were last season to getting canned.
When you mess with the money, look what happens.
Yeah, but but the Dodgers almost got beat by a Cardinals team that had significantly less losses than the Dodgers, 106 wins that season, and then the Mets would have suffered the same fate in a 1-game playoff because they lost to the Padres in the first game of this 3-game series. So, like, you're punishing teams for even though you're trying to promote the sport and make it more exciting. I think a 3-game series much more exciting. a lot more things going on. And the bottom line is that a lot of these teams have a chance. You're rewarding the best 2 teams in each league, kind of like the NFL does, or did, now that there are 7 teams in there. But like, you're rewarding the best 2 teams in each league, and you're making the 3rd best division winner fight in a round against a team that has a little bit of a chance, was lucky to be there, because now there are 3 wild card teams in each league. So great idea. I'm upset as a Pirates fan. Very sad. But I'm just saying too, because I'm thinking about, like, as a Pirates fan, what it would have been like to watch the Pirates play in a series. Like, a series is so much more exciting, and it gives you so much more hope as a fan. Because again, it's like one game doesn't really determine how much better a team is than another, and a 3-game series doesn't really either. But at least it's 3 games. Like, you get 3 chances. If you can't do it in 3 games, then you're out of luck, or you're out of skill, because you should be able to beat a team if you're that good in 3 games. Like the Mets, who were destined to go to the World Series. I'm so happy they lost. This team's built for the World Series. We have Starling Marte in right field, they said. Well, Marte's not on steroids anymore, but he's also not in the playoffs either. So, it's so much more exciting, though, to watch it. I like a lot of games, and I think that it's so much better for fan bases to be able to watch their teams play in a whole series than just 1 game. And unlike us Pirate fans now, who got a total of 7 playoff games in 3 years, and now we're here. So that's the opinion. Wild card series is good.
Well, to speak to your point as a lifelong Pirate fan, I'm not upset about what happened 8, 9 years ago. I mean, you can't change the past. I'm just glad moving forward that they've made it, and I do think it's a fair test, because you got 4 teams, 2 in each league, that get buys. Okay, the teams with the 2 best records in the American League, the 2 best teams in the best records in the National League got buys. So Atlanta and Los Angeles didn't have to play, and neither did the Astros or the Yankees didn't have to play in the wild card round. But I think it's as good a test as you're going to get. You can't have that many series at the end of the season. 3-game, 5-game, 7-game, 7-game. I think that extends the season quite well enough.
There you go. Well, thank you, Chip. Thanks, Nick. We're going to go to On Location and close out the show with On Location. On Location. We only got about 4 minutes to go, but first of all, I'm honored to be doing my 11th year, starting the 12th year. Thanks to all my co-hosts. Thanks to all the camera people, audio people, control room. Thanks for Buck being the first time on Pittsburgh Sportsline Show.
Yeah.
We have a quandary with how many shows I've done. Nick just has me on a technicality. This could be 793. I say it's 803, but we're still working that out. But whatever the number is, I'm honored to be able to doing this for 11 years that we can count, heading for our 12th. Thanks to all of you for being fans and your support over the years. We appreciate it. Thanks for all the likes on Facebook. Thank you for, we've been doing 1.5 years with Facebook Live. I check it all the time and try to make, opinions there. Amy, I had the haircut 2 weeks ago, but thank you very much.
Can I mention one thing?
Yes.
Bring the camera over here. Bring it real quick. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's a lot of effort put into there, and only 21 of you have so far. Subscribe. If you want to watch every Sportsline episode that's ever been archived over the 12 years now, or 11 years.
11 years.
11 years. Subscribe to the channel. Watch the shows, and each new episode is uploaded 2 hours after it's broadcast on there, and we're going to start live streaming to there at some point next year. So subscribe.
And that is the Sportsline page that I paid Nick to create. He did it in less than a year, so all the shows are there. They're all numbered. We didn't list all the guests on there when we had On Location, but this is my 547th Tuesday night show, even though we did some Thursdays for 6 months that we didn't have to move, but we did. So we're consistent like this. We appreciate it. The new Pittsburgh Sportsline page, we want you to like it, and we'll add stuff there, or on YouTube. Yeah. So that's where it'll be. Like you said, this show will be up there. I'm thankful.
Episode 3.
Yes. Chip
and
joined us.
I found that one. And that's how I found all your other comments as well that I cited. That was how I did it. I never revealed that, but that's how I found it because I was doing the project.
And Chief, thanks for being one of our biggest fans, and thank all of you for watching, whether you say something or not. We appreciate all of you out there, and we try to entertain you. My theory is I respect everybody's opinion, although some of them I disagree 100%. Smoking Jim Frazier. I was thinking that, but I had to say it. He's my best friend. We do not script anything. I'm still quick-witted, and he tests me every show. He's not a baseball guy. So whatever he says about baseball,
Come play, guy. Come play.
So you're a quick wit and I'm a nitwit.
well, we got that covered, and we don't. And Smoking Jim's without a wit, and he's a degenerate.
Half a wit.
He's a degenerate gambler, and Nick isn't getting muddied by us old timers with reminiscing and busting chops and whatever else. But I just have to thank you sincerely to BPTV, the community of Bethel Park, Dave Cable, anybody I forgot, Aaron Ward, Devin Shea, who helped get us on a roll when I said we want to do a live show every Tuesday night. We haven't missed. And thanks to my friends, fellow producers that did a show when I missed my first and only week after 400 some shows because of my kidney transplant. But I'm doing well. I look forward to another 11 years. They told me my new kidney was worth 30 more, so I got 27 more years to talk to all of you. So please stay Joey strong.